Pawn Stars has kept its audience engaged for nearly 2 decades with its approach to historical storytelling that is both accessible and familiar. By centering on regular people and situations, the show has provided millions of viewers with entertainment and excitement. For the better part of his life, Rick Harrison has toiled away at expanding the show and pawn store that he co-founded. Nevertheless, Rick's private life hasn't been without its share of challenges, including a protracted legal struggle that almost split his family in half. Now we'll take a look at some disturbing new details about Rick and what they imply for all his hard work over the years. The son of Richard the Old Man Benjamin Harrison and Joanne Rue Harrison, Rick was born on March 22, 1965, with the full name Richard Kelvin Harrison. He and his siblings, Sir Joseph and Chris, were the third and fourth children in their family. Living in Lexington was the Harrison family's home. North Carolina, with the exception of their father Richard, who has previously stated that his time away from home as a child was due to his service in the United States Navy. Even though it was tough on the family, Rick's father had to remain in the military so that he could pay for his sister Sher's medical expenses after she was born with Down syndrome. At the tender age of 6, Sherry passed away. Their father was deeply affected by this tragic incident. He expressed, "Sherry was the light of my life for the short time we had her." Rick, who was just 1 year old when Sherry passed away, had no opportunity to form a bond with her. Had he been older, the sorrow would have been too much for him to bear by the time he turned 2. The household uprooted. His dad's job required him to relocate to San Diego, California. Rick understood firsthand how much his parents struggled with the loss of a beloved sibling, and he found it particularly difficult to grow up with that memory. At the age of 8, though, he began experiencing seizures, which immediately made him the focus of his parents' attention. They would read to him in bed as he slept. Aside from his passion for history and physics, his favorite genre to read was adventure fiction set in the late 18th and early 19th centuries, particularly as it pertained to the Royal Navy. Taft Middle School, located inside the San Diego Unified School District, was his chosen educational institution upon reaching the mandatory school age requirement. Dropping out of high school to concentrate on his company selling fake Gucci bags, Rick became a hustler because he was interested in generating money. He made $2,000 a week. Not long after Rick's parents' real estate company went under, the Harrison family uprooted and headed west to Sin City in April 1981. After then, Rick's dad unveiled on Las Vegas Boulevard South, Rick, who was just 17 years old, established a 300-foot-long store selling used gold and silver coins. Until he accidentally made his girlfriend Kim pregnant, everything was going swimmingly. At that point, Rick experienced his first tragedy, a miscarriage. Kim had experienced the anguish that Rick had suffered when he lost his first kid. However, rather than causing a wedge between them, it drew them closer, and the young couple eventually tied the knot. In 1982, they tied the knot and welcomed their first child, Corey. Adam was born to them 2 years after their first kid. Unfortunately, Rick and Kim split up not long after Adam was born, and Rick had a rough patch before he met Kim. In reality, what transpired? 9 months after their breakup with Kim, Rick met Tracy, his second wife, on an undercover double date. After dating for half a year, they decided to live together and were married 8 months later, shouldering the cost of supporting Adam and Corey. Rick became a partner in his father's business when he saved enough money, which was when he was 23 years old. We discussed how Rick's expanding knowledge of history and physics benefited his dad's business. Invest each coin with a story that will captivate collectors and provide value to your business. After Rick and his dad's business took off, he stopped working nights to concentrate on his day job and stopped repossessing automobiles. The family uprooted to a larger dwelling 5 years down the road. They were there for 2 years at their Fremont Street business, but they lost their lease and had to relocate again. After that, Rick and his dad made the decision to convert the store into a pawn shop. According to him, they considered it a natural progression, but a Las Vegas statute limiting the amount of pawn licenses according to population prevented them from acting immediately. Through the 1980s, the urban areas. At the 250,000 person mark in 1989, Rick and his dad began meeting with the city statistician once a week in order to apply for a pawn license. which was extremely unusual and desirable. The Harrison continued to face certain legal challenges even after the population surpassed that milestone. That following year, they went through a lot of hassle to receive their pawn license. Located at 713 Las Vegas Boulevard South, less than 2 miles from the Las Vegas Strip, the gold and silver pawn shop was opened that same year. The father and son duo started out selling historical artifacts and unique sports memorabilia, but as their business expanded, jewelry took center stage. Gained notoriety in the Las Vegas area by 2005 when they were lending millions of dollars annually and pocketing hundreds of thousands in interest. The next year, the shop gained renown for selling unique and historically significant sports memorabilia, such as the 2001 Super Bowl ring that belonged to Brock Williams. Gamblers who needed gas money to go home were also helped. The History Channel noticed their rise to fame and decided to air a documentary chronicling their journey. Pawn Stars was conceived in 2008 while Left Field Pictures' Brent Montgomery and Colby Gaines were on vacation in Sin City. They sought for a family-owned store to incorporate into the show, and in the end, they discovered the gold and silver pawn shop due to their fascination with the fascinating pawn shops and the idea that each one might have its own distinct personality. The store offers over 10,000 products and is located less than 2 miles from the Las Vegas Strip. Rick, the manager and co-owner, had always dreamed of having a television show about his shop, and in 2001 it happened. Although HBO initially rejected Brent and Colby's Pawn Star pitch because to their distaste for the concept, they eventually allowed it to be developed. Originally titled Pawning History, the show's title was altered to Pawn Stars to more accurately represent its subject matter. The name is a pun on porn stars, and while filming was going on, the store would be off limits to everyone but a select group of permitted patrons. As a result of the show, the Harrison family gained a lot of fans and received mostly good feedback from viewers. Positive reviews and viewer requests for additional episodes ensured the show's continued success and renewal year after year. By January 2011, Pawn Stars had surpassed Jersey Shore as the most watched reality program on the History Channel. Licensed to Pawn Deals, Steals in My Life at the Gold and Silver, Rick's autobiography was published on June 7, 2011 and debuted at number 22 on the New York Times bestseller list by June 26, 2011. However, Rick also filed for a divorce from Tracy, his second wife, this year, making it a bittersweet one for him. Rick Harrison, who had a surprising history of 2 divorces, surprised everyone the year before by announcing his engagement to Deanna Barrett. It was not the first time Deanna had been divorced. From a professional standpoint, Rick was pleased with the show's success and his increasing fan appeal. As themselves, Chumlee appeared in I Lost My Head in Vegas, an episode of iCarly. 4 days later, Rick appeared on The Middle as the owner of an antique business. At about the same time, he wed Deanna Barrett in Laguna Beach, California, and they had 3 stepdaughters, Serena, Kiana, and the MicroTouch 1 razor is a product for men's shaving, and Marissa Rick became its face and TV ad star in January 2014. The History Channel debuted United Stuff of America a few months after Pawn Stars, another show created by the same folks. Relics from pivotal moments in history were on display. Pornography premiered on the History Channel in July 2014 and featured Rick, Corey, and Chumlee battling against participants from taking home jewelry, cash, and other valuables from the pawn shop's collection of gold and silver. Richard, Rick's father, and the old man on Pawn Stars passed away while the family was enjoying great success. Rick broke the news to his 45,000 followers in June 2018 that his father had passed away. Instagram followers said that the deceased had Parkinson's illness. The news of Richard's passing was confirmed by a family representative who also shared the identical Instagram message from Rick. Sharing a close-up shot of his dad, a 77-year-old in a black suit, spectacles, and a hat, Rick wrote an emotional homage to the man who had assisted him in running the family business. Early this morning, with his family by his side, Richard Benjamin Harrison went away. Our family is going to miss him a lot. His passing was a great loss for the History Channel, Gold and Silver Pawn, and countless followers of the elderly man all across the globe. We are deeply saddened by the passing of our friend Richard the Old Man Harrison. a cherished member of the History and Pawn Stars family. We will miss his wisdom and honesty. Our thoughts are with the Harrison family during this difficult time, according to the statement. Simultaneously, Rick commented about the significance of his father, saying, "He was my hero, and I was lucky to have such a father. I'm grateful that I got to introduce my dad to so many people who appreciated what a wonderful family man he was. He was a groovy old man." In addition to claiming to have lived a complete life, he added that Pawn Stars has the power to teach people around the world the importance of family, perseverance, and comedy. Along with posting a second photo of his dad when he was younger, he requested anonymity at the time. "I lost a friend, a father, a teacher, and so much more. The old man lost his long battle with Parkinson's this morning. Love you, Dad. See you on the other side." Rick and the Harrison family were profoundly saddened by their father's loss, according to today's Navy uniform posting. The shop was set to go through a bad patch, and Rick was left to tend to his family and operate it alone. In 2019, the COVID-19 pandemic struck, impacting Rick's business and generating numerous complications. It would have appeared that pawn shops would be thriving during the pandemic, what with so many people experiencing financial difficulties. However, this was not the case for many of these establishments. Although sales increased initially during the pandemic, they subsequently declined. Rick explained to Fox News how the COVID-19 pandemic had disrupted the pawn shop industry and made it difficult for businesses to recover. No longer was it a priority to visit a pawn shop in order to attend to everyday activities. Even worse, in March of 2020, due to an overwhelming quantity of cases, he was forced to shut down his business. While the banking services remained operational, the tourism aspect of the firm was temporarily closed for 30 days. Rick was hell-bent on standing by his. At the world-renowned gold and silver pawn shop, he and his colleagues were prepared to step up their game, he insisted. During an interview with a Las Vegas TV station in April 2020, he mentioned that we lowered interest rates on items and gave people more time to get their things back. "This town has been my home for many years, and I want to repay it in some small way." Optimistic and anticipating an improvement in the economy within 6 months, Rick expressed this outlook in the interview. In 2020, the gold and silver pawn shop, which typically earns over $1 million annually, only made $337.46 as reported by the Daily Mail. So, yeah, that didn't happen. Rick was already dealing with the fallout from the COVID-19 epidemic and the dissolution of his marriage to his third wife, whom he wed in September 2020. Court records seen by TMZ indicate that Rick and Dean's marriage collapsed due to their growing estrangement. Rick said in the paperwork that he and Dean's marital compatibility has been jeopardized due to their increasingly divergent beliefs, ideas, and preferences. Rumor has it that the divorce went unnoticed by the Ye. "I got 3 great daughters out of it," Rick told TMZ, alluding to Diana's offspring from Rick's first marriage. Additionally, he stated that the couple had mutually consented to a divorce because the marriage had failed. In spite of his claims that he has moved on, he continues to treat his stepdaughters like his own in his most recent Instagram pictures featuring the two of them. When we spoke in August, he detailed their intimate off-roading adventure on their 6th article, which was about a father-daughter outing. The bright side is that he has expressed similar sentiments toward multiple of his stepdaughters in his writings. Rick overcame all obstacles with the support of his son Corey. With the hope of starting over with Amanda Palmer, he wed for the 4th time a year later. Concerning the family, things had escalated to a critical point in February 2022 when he found himself in legal hot water due to his mother, Joanne Rue. Rick's mother sued him in a lawsuit involving the family's assets and the gold and silver pawn shop, according to USA Today. Rick, along with the gold and silver pawn shop, Harrison Properties, Jork Properties, and a number of others, are named as defendants in the civil complaint that was filed in the Nevada State Court. Their relationship was severely damaged, according to the lawsuit, due to their fights about money. Joanne claimed that Rick had breached a contract in her formal complaint. According to her, Richard's 49% stake in the pawn store was hers upon his 2018 death because she had been married to his father for nearly 60 years. The woman claimed, nevertheless, that Rick had her. Since Rick had always been portrayed as a family man who wouldn't sell out his loved ones for money, it was disappointing to see her sign over 51% of the pawn business to him without fully comprehending the consequences. However, it appeared that he had accomplished precisely that with his own mother, who claimed that she had not gotten the proper documentation. According to her testimony, Richard possessed more than $500,000 in silver and cash at the time of his death. According to her, Rick also ceased sending her the $225,000 that her late husband had been sending her on a daily basis. That allowance should be reinstated by the courts, according to her. The story claims that Rick's mom required constant medical attention because she was over 80 years old and suffered from a number of health issues. To prevent her son Rick from liquidating family assets, which could cost as much as $155,000 each month, Joanne obtained a temporary restraining order. If Rick were to do anything to harm her portion of the family business, including conceal or transfer cash assets, she would be in violation of the order. Rick was finally required to transfer ownership of her assets to a constructive trust, according to the document. The case had fans concerned that Rick's fortune was in jeopardy. Later in an interview, Rick stated, "The accusations are false, and I believe my 81-year-old mother is being influenced by others for their own benefit." He further stated that he learned about the restraining order request from the news and added, "I've tried to contact her many times over the last few months but haven't been able to. Get in touch with her. My mom owns 100% of the company that she is suing." The war raged on until 2024, the year Rick suffered his greatest loss when his son Adam died of a heroin and fentanyl overdose. Adam hit the big 39 this year. The death of Adam was attributed to an overdose of fentanyl and methamphetamine, according to a public information officer in Clark County, Nevada. The medical examiner's office in Clark County categorized Adams. His landlord eventually discovered him unresponsive when another resident noted he hadn't been there since January 17th. This prompted a call to the police, with the sorrowful caption, "You'll always be in my heart. I love you, Adam." Rick shared an Instagram snapshot of the two of them at a restaurant on January 19th. The 26th of January was supposedly the day Adam overdosed on fentanyl and died. A representative for Adam's family, Laura Hervich, issued the following statement: "We are deeply saddened by Adam's passing. Please respect our privacy as we mourn his loss." Rick weighed in on the matter, stating that the fentanyl crisis in the nation demands greater attention. Donald Trump Jr. was among the thousands who expressed their sorrow following Rick's touching Instagram tribute to Adam. Uncle Corey Harrison shared a throwback photo of the brothers on Instagram with the caption, "I'll always love you, Bubba Plumber." Adam Harrison wasn't on Pawn Stars, but he did work at Gold and Silver Pawn. Prior to his acting career, Corey was a plumber. Adam's lack of enthusiasm in being on the show was explained. Rick keeps an optimistic outlook and puts his problems and sadness in his job. Rick began to take an interest in politics outside of work in 2020 when he supported Donald Trump for president and Daniel Rodriguez for. Representing Nevada's 3rd congressional district, and he considered seeking the office of governor in the year 2022. The following statement was made by Rick: "Many people in the party have talked to me about it, and I always think about it. I haven't made up my mind yet, but I'm keeping my options open." In November 2023, he achieved another milestone by becoming a Kentucky colonel. This recognition during a Pawn Stars spin-off segment that featured Locust Grove. The highest distinction bestowed by the governor of Kentucky is the title of Kentucky Colonel. A statement from his representative stated that he is dating Las Vegas nurse Angie Pushkin, so his romantic life is also looking up. "Angie and I met 6 months ago, and she is a nurse in Las Vegas," he added. Rather than celebrating her birthday in Vegas, we have spent the last 2 weeks in Europe. Also, he recently provided fans a glimpse into their relationship by posting multiple images of them suited for a fancy Parisian evening out. Angie is much younger than Rick and is not their biological mother. Critics accused Rick of being too young to be in a committed relationship and even referred to his well-educated and fashionable girlfriend as a gold digger in response to his Eiffel Tower photo. Questioned, "Does she make your money?" This is when Rick's people skills and situational awareness came into action. He refused to be baited and instead spent quality time with his new lover. They saw various landmarks in Las Vegas, attended an Adele concert, and met Donald Trump, the former president and current Republican contender for president. Despite dealing with legal issues, financial failures, personal tragedies, and failed marriages, Pushkin spent June 2024 in London celebrating his birthday to a lesser extent. His followers are praying that he will recover from the loss of his son Adam, albeit they know that he will need time. Since starring in Pawn Stars Do America Season 2, he has left his full-time job at the pawn shop. In his semi-retirement, Rick is relishing the opportunity to spend quality time with his loved ones.